Hello and welcome to Raising Those Spirits. I'm Steve.
I'm Sam,
And sorry for the long hiatus. I had a lot of life stuff going on, and Sam had
and I had
COVID.
COVID. It was not a fun. That was not a fun week for me. I was very sad to have COVID again after a couple of years. I was
Yeah,
like, "All right, COVID, still a thing. You can still get it. It didn't go anywhere." Good
that's
reminder to get your booster if you haven't, because I have not.
that would have absolutely been our worst episode because I canceled because I was literally so tired I could barely stay awake, and you were coming down with COVID. So,
I'm like, yeah, I was like, yeah, I've kind of had this, when you called to be like, oh, I can't do it tonight. And I was like, yeah, I was like, well, I kind of got the sniffles anyway. And then by the time it would have been recording time, I was just like, my face was leaking and I was sneezing. And then by the next morning, I could not wake up. I was unable to exit my bed. I kept, and I still managed to like, at the end of the day, I got up and I did like 2 hours worth of work because I am addicted to work. It's terrible. I was like, I didn't realize I had COVID for a couple of more days. I didn't realize until I was gonna go make a urgent care appointment because I had pulled something in my back and I had like all this muscle soreness and I was like, well, if I want to go to the urgent care, they're gonna make me take a COVID test before I go, so I might as well just do one and get it out of the way. And then I was like, oh, I have COVID. That explains why I keep sneezing and why I have muscle soreness. Not a fun day. No, it's
no,
not.
yeah, the lowest energy episode possible.
But we're alive. We survived.
We're here, and
And then we're gonna go on another quick hiatus because I'm going to a conference in Vegas in 2 weeks. Not a place I've never been to Las
I
Vegas. I
have
don't particularly want to go.
I've never been there. Petra's gone a few
Everybody,
times, but
everybody tells me it's great and I'll enjoy it, but I'm like, I'm gonna be at a conference. It's not like I'm gonna have time to like go wander around Las Vegas.
also I'm a 40-year-old man. The concept of Vegas sounds exhausting right now. Like
Right?
I want to be getting ready for bed at like 10.
No, I don't gamble, or at least like I don't gamble enough to want to go to Vegas. It's just not one of my interests. I don't gamble. I don't like bright lights or loud noises or crowds of people. I was really disappointed when I found out this conference was going to be in Vegas. The last time I went, it was 2 years ago. It was in Nashville. It's a tech conference for educational technology stuff I do at work. And Nashville was also terrible. It felt like being inside of a city that was a bachelorette party.
We talked about that when
Did
you
we?
on this podcast
When I went?
when you
Oh, I'm
went.
sure we did. Yeah. And before that, it was in Chicago, and I loved it. I wish they would just always do Chicago with the pizza that I like and the bars that are just video games.
You know,
Chicago was great.
I've never once had a Chicago style pizza.
I mean, they're good. They were good. I'm always gonna prefer the New York style pizza. Um, the Chicago style pizza is basically a pizza cake. Um, really good. I no complaints.
You ever try a Detroit
I
style?
No. What exactly is a Detroit style pizza? What makes it
Oh,
Detroit style?
it's so good. It is a slightly less puffy, more crispy Sicilian.
Okay.
They cook it in basically like this deep sheet pan, like a cast iron sheet pan, and it gets so nice and crispy around the edges, and they just like cover it with like cheese and sauce and like pepperoni and stuff, and it is so good because it's
So
got hmm?
it's like halfway between a Sicilian and like a New England style bar pie.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's we had a place right around here that was open for like 2 beautiful years and then COVID killed it. But
Yeah.
they only did Detroit style pizza. and there was so much demand they only did it 3 nights a week.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll seek it out. I'm always looking for new pizza types.
Honestly, in not to tell you to start with a entire type of pizza with frozen, but oh God, the Detroit something co. There's like a frozen pizza company that does a Detroit style, and it's not bad. I don't know if you should have it be
Okay.
your first option, but it gives you the basic strokes of what it would be.
Well, maybe I'll find it while I'm in Vegas. Because I feel like that's the one thing that will be good is there's so much food there.
That's the thing. I
But
live 20 minutes from Foxwoods Casino and 30 minutes from Mohegan Sun. And if I ever go to either of them, it's either for one of their restaurants or it's because there's a convention there.
oh
Like,
yeah, one of my coworkers went to one of those and he went to the Gordon Ramsay restaurant and got the beef Wellington, which is like the thing. And I heard it was he said he described it. It sounded pretty incredible.
we have considered going there and doing that, but we haven't yet. There's a bunch of really good food there. That's the thing. At Vegas, I would just eat my way through. Like, I'm not even gonna really go into a casino because I just walk around and be like, "Oh, you have this here? I could eat that." All right, we've digressed for a while. Uh, it is time for me to do a cryptid,
Hmm.
right?
How's that going? Yeah, I
Uh,
mean that was the plan.
it's going bad, Sam.
Oh
Usually
no, you
I skip a.
told me earlier.
Well, okay, so I had, when we were supposed to record this weeks ago, found something really cool for Ohio. I don't know what it was. I cannot find it again. But in my review of cryptids, Ohio, get it together. They
Oh
have
no,
like five different Bigfoot, but
too many.
they're all called different things. And I'm like, dude, Ohio's not that big. I don't think you have five subspecies of Bigfoot. It might be the
Yeah.
same Bigfoot. So the first one is the grass man, also known as Eastern Bigfoot. Long dark hair, orange eyes, pungent smell, 10 feet tall, up to 1,000 pounds.
Pretty
Uh,
big, Bigfoot.
7 feet tall and 300 pounds, some other people said. So, 7 to 10 feet, 300 to 1,000 pounds. The Grassman. Then there's
It's a lot of range.
the Minerva monster. 7 foot tall, 300-pound furry monster. There's the Cedar Bog monster, eerily similar to that of the Grassman. The tall fur-covered monster was seen in a bog instead of the grasslands, and therefore it must be a whole different species. Then there's Orange Eyes. Orange Eyes is another humanoid creature similar to Sasquatch or the Grassman, both described as having orange eyes. I don't know why that made this one special, but it got its name. So this place is just lousy with. Oh, and then there's a Dogman, who is slightly different from a Bigfoot.
In what
And
way? Is it more like a dog and less like an ape?
I guess, but still, like the description is, it's not as tall as a Bigfoot. It's supposed to be like 4 to 5 foot tall Bigfoot, like the Ewok of the Bigfoots.
Okay, so it's like a medium foot then.
Yeah, like a normal sized humanoid.
It's just some guy.
So, yeah, I don't understand why they need like five different cryptids
Get it
for,
together, Ohio.
cause that,
Consolidate
yeah,
your big feet.
Bigfoot slash Sasquatch, Grassman, Minerva Monster, Seagabog Monster. Yeah, five. Orange Eyes. Five different Bigfoots. Shame on you.
You have to prove at least two exist before you can start throwing out subspecies.
I'll.
Otherwise, it's slightly different, but slightly different Bigfoot. Not different enough.
I'm gonna accept these submissions, but require you to prove it scientifically. Like
Okay.
I want you to show me how they are different enough for them to be classified as separate things based on their descriptions.
Who is a Bigfoot expert that we can go to like get their take on this?
Back
Although
in
I
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, although I maintain everyone's a Bigfoot expert because Bigfoot doesn't exist.
Back I've probably told this story 100 times. When we were working for Time Warner, I got
Oh,
sent. Hmm?
back in the day, that
Yeah,
was a
back in
while
the
ago.
day, I think it was right after you left. Time Warner tapped us and was like, "Hey, we want you to do an expose on Comic Con." And we're just gonna put it up on like Time Warner, so it's like an hour long thing, so people who couldn't make it can still get like a feel. And they also wanted us to push their new three shows that were going to be at Comic Con, one of which was Finding Bigfoot. So we actually hung out. We spent the weekend with, interviewed, walked around with the Finding Bigfoot guys.
Oh, so call them.
Call them.
You got it. Do you still have their number?
I do not know. I mean, I also remember who I went with. So, like, I can always check with them. But, yeah. Or we could just reach out. They believe in Bigfoot. They probably would love to talk about it, Sam. I don't know if we need to.
Like that show ran for 12 seasons. I'm just looking it up.
Yeah.
How
Yeah.
do you stretch that into 12 seasons?
Well, when we were there, it was like season 3 or something. Like they were like still new, but pushing it hard. It was new enough that they were still pushing it hard, or maybe it had gotten renewed or something. But um, yeah,
It's just I just remember when that show came on the air, and I was thinking like, well, if they ever found Bigfoot, it would be in the news before the episode aired.
yeah.
So I know you're gonna get to the end of every single episode of this show without having found Bigfoot. It, I was like, we're never gonna find Bigfoot on this show. It would make the news. Thank you, Finding Bigfoot.
I don't.
You are a pointless series.
I don't even remember what the third show was because it was that absurd. Where I was like, this got a show. So,
Sewer Gators.
something like that. It was just like, oh, come on, guys. Like, I remember literally nothing about it. But if you've never been to a New York Comic Con, I recommend going at least once.
Oh, I do want to go. I've never been.
Yeah, that's the only time I ever went. Um, every other time I ever bought tickets, I could not make it and had to sell them because we graduated into a recession and I had to take work when it was available. So what are we drinking tonight, Sam?
Oh, I had one of my favorite Leinenkugel summer shandies.
Oh yeah.
It's a nice lemon shandy. It is the thing I look forward to the most when it gets hot out. Not that it's been hot, it's been a cold and rainy June up here in Boston. I think we are hitting our 14th or 15th weekend this weekend of rain in a row. It has been real depressing. Um, but the beer cheered me up a little bit earlier tonight.
I love that shandy, although I
Yeah.
can't drink it anymore.
Oh no,
Well,
too
did
acidic.
you ever watch? No, no, no. You ever watch the show? It was a Fox show a long time ago now called the Good Guys. It was Bradley Whitford and Colin Hanks. It was like a buddy cop show.
It sounds familiar, but I don't
Oh,
think I ever watched it.
it was hilarious. But Bradley Whitford's character was like a hard drinking like 80s cop in a modern world. And we were playing a D&D game at the time where we were all isekai characters from different properties, so I played him, and in order to get into character, I drank this 12 pack of skunked Linden Cooler Shandy.
Oh
And it
no.
really got me in character, but I just can't take it seriously after that.
Oh. Well, if you ever feel the whim again, it's such a good drink.
Every
How do
time
you
I see
pronounce
it,
it? I always say Leinenkugel. Do you say Leinenkugel? Lindenkugel?
I've heard it called Lindenkugel, Leinenkugel, Leinenkugel. Like we used to have it when I was a barback, and everyone told me to get them a different thing that was all the same thing.
Oh, all right.
I will never know the correct pronunciation. I had too many drunk people not able to say it right at me for so long that the true name never actually like sunk in.
All right. No, but it's a good drink. What are you drinking?
So my local liquor store, Sam, now
Mm.
sells spirits infused with THC.
Oh my God, that sounds like it really messed you up.
No, 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 it's just seltzers. They
There's no alcohol. There's no
there's no
alcohol. It's just
alcohol, but
THC.
like along with the booze and the hard alcohol, they have THC seltzers now. And so I'm counting it as among the spirits because I buy it at the spirits store.
Fair enough.
I've tried many brands and many flavors at this point. High Five is a brand that is my favorite so far. They have three flavors. This one is a black cherry. If you like seltzer at all, like Polar Seltzer,
You do.
this this is just a black cherry Polar Seltzer that has 5 milligrams of THC in it.
All right.
Yeah,
Good that
they
there isn't alcohol in it because I was told back in high school to not mix.
yeah. You don't have to worry about that here. It is just that, and yeah, I've had all three flavors they have available in my area at least. They have a peach and mango that it's literally like fuzzy on your tongue like a peach. I don't know how they did it. It's delicious. And then they have a cranberry lime, which is just refreshing in the heat. So, if you start getting fun types of spirits, I recommend A, trying them out, and B, High Five if it's available.
All right, I'll keep an eye out. Thank you for that recommendation.
All right, let's get to The Last Unicorn.
The Last Unicorn, which I don't think I had seen since I was a little kid. If I had seen it, I'm pretty sure I watched this like when my sister was. I have an older sister when she was in her unicorn phase. So I think I probably saw this at some point in the 80s or early 90s, but I had not seen this in, 30 years or so.
Same. I think I was in middle school last time I saw this. Um, and I don't even know if I saw the whole thing. That time I even came in at like the back half. I thought the back half of this movie was a lot longer than it was.
No, it's great. I mean, like the pacing for a kids movie. I think I think the pacing's really tight. I ended up having to watch it a couple times because I nodded off,
No, the pacing's
but
good.
still, I think that was more the fact that I'm just very tired by 8 o'clock at night and get to sit down and watch a movie.
Yeah, but what
But
a cast in this one.
oh yeah, kind of a surprising one. I didn't realize just kind of the a mixed bag of people in this with Alan Arkin, I think, being the biggest surprise. And also Mia Farrow. I mean, like, I don't know, like, how many Mia Farrow movies do I know? Just Rosemary's Baby. I think
Yeah,
that's it. But Mia Farrow as our lead unicorn.
Jeff
She's very good.
Bridges as the
Yes.
prince.
It's so funny, 'cause when I think of Jeff Bridges, I just think of the dude.
Yeah,
Um, he's been in so many other things, but when I think of Jeff Bridges, I just think of the dude. So when it's like the handsome prince and that voice comes out, it's jarring in a way that would not have been in 1982. Um, This had to have been one of his earlier movies because it's not like he was, you know,
Yeah, he had to be
around much
young
before then.
because like he had just done Tron at that point, I think.
All right, so this is still like, oh, Jeff Bridges' kid, and we got to give Jeff Bridges' kid a shot in this movie because his dad is Jeff Bridges, or I'm sorry, Lloyd Bridges.
I was gonna say, I was like, what?
No, no, I got confused.
Yeah,
Lloyd Bridges. This is back when he was mostly just getting work, probably because he was Lloyd Bridges' son.
he did.
Although, you know what? Look, he's got stuff back through the '60s and '70s. Maybe I'm a little bit. Maybe I'm wrong.
He actually, fun fact, offered to do the movie for free when he found out they were making it. He was like,
Oh wow.
if you make me the prince, I will do this movie for free because it's one of his favorite books, and he was just excited they were making a movie for it, and he wanted to make sure they did it right. Same thing with Christopher Lee. Christopher Lee, another huge name in this,
Another huge name.
playing the king. He showed up the first day of recording with the actual book and earmarked pages and stuff. And he was like, anything in this book cannot be left out. Like that he had earmarked, so he made them add like a whole bunch of stuff to it. But yeah, so like a lot of people, this was like a weird passion project for I know Christopher Lee and Angela Lansbury, because they wanted to make a live action one forever, were both slated until they died to reprise their roles.
Uh, the what that's a missed opportunity. This I think. When would they have done it though? I don't know. Like I feel like maybe around the time of Lord of the Rings, when Christopher Lee was getting towards the end of his life, would have been a good time to do it. Yeah, it's too bad that they weren't around if they do ever make a live action of it at this point.
Yeah, it is sad. Development hell's terrible.
Yeah.
And Ren-
Alan Arkin also with this. I feel like Alan Arkin is the kind of the most random of the
when I
group.
opened the IMDb, it was the first name I saw, and I was like, "What?"
Here's this. Here's a question for you. Alan Arkin plays our wizard Schmendrick. What was your reaction to the name Schmendrick? Did you have a reaction to it?
Not really. I was like, "Oh, that's an unfortunate name," but like for
The
no
thing is,
wisdom related reason, I was just like, "Oh, they could have done better than that."
it's a Yiddish word. It's basically putz. Like it's
Oh,
basically the same as calling someone a Schmendrick is like calling someone a putz.
I did read
Um,
that.
and Alan Arkin's he's Jewish or he was Jewish. He's passed away, but it's just like he had to have known that. What an I just found I thought that was such an odd choice for a character name. Because every time at the beginning of the movie they kept calling him Schmendrick. I'm like, these people are being very rude to this young wizard before I realized like, oh, they're not calling him a Schmendrick. His name is Schmendrick. That really caught me off guard. And I had a good laugh about it, but it's just like, okay, maybe Yiddish phrasing was not as well known in the early 1980s
Or maybe he thought
or
it was
whenever the
funny.
book came out. I mean, it was pretty funny, but it's just like that. Just seems like a pretty stand-up guy. I don't know why they keep calling him a Schmendrick.
My character's name is Idiot.
I had a very good laugh about it.
Yeah,
Yeah, incredible cast in this. Incredible cast in this movie. We
they
haven't.
even like, and it again, it was such a wide net, like you said. Renee Auberjonois, the priest from MASH was the skull.
Oh, also, he was a Star Trek guy. He was on
Yes,
DS9.
yes, he was, and it was just like they have so many random people from just so many different parts of the last century, and everyone did a stand-up job. But you're right, most of these people, with the exception of Alan Arkin, I don't like go out of my way to watch their stuff.
Yeah, good cast. But what do you think? What do you think of the movie? Where were your impressions? We have to reach back to our minds because we watched this a couple of weeks ago when we initially
Yeah.
scheduled to record this episode.
Um, there were no songs in this, right?
I mean, no, there was no musical numbers, but there's the Last Unicorn song,
Yeah, I
which
did.
is like one of those right up there with like Never Ending Story.
I did not care for the Last Unicorn song. Every time it came on, and it's the song, so it swelled in not infrequently. I was just like, oh my god.
It's
But
so cheesy.
it really takes you. That was my thing. I was like, the movie does pull you in, and it ripped me out every time. I was like, it's that damn clown song again. Um,
I
but
thought it fit. I thought it fit for like 1980s fantasy vibe. It was so I don't know, for me it worked for
it
me.
was
It
too
worked for me.
close, too on the nose. Like, if someone was making a movie to make it seem like an 80s movie and they used that, I would have been like, it's too on the nose. It's kind of like how I feel about Freaks and Geeks. It was a great show, but they captured the wrong type of teenage awkwardness. I don't want to relive that type of teenage awkwardness. I want to live other teenage awkwardness.
Oh sure, it was like this is too close to what things actually were like. I don't like it.
Yeah.
I mean like this it's so 1980. It's so perfectly 1982 that just post 1970s vibe. We have not really gotten to the 80s because the 80s doesn't really hit until 84. But we have that little period of time between the 1970s and like the deep 80s that you think of with the hair and the new wave music and stuff. And this fits so perfectly into that moment. I think that's what I
Yes.
really appreciated about this movie.
No, it was beautiful. It's like it
I
looks
love
a
the animation.
yeah. The animation's fantastic. Um, just the use of color and everything. There's so much going for this movie that like my biggest gripe is I didn't love the main theme. Uh, otherwise, it was a fun ride. It was nice to revisit it. Again, I have apparently seen the second half more than the first half, so I thought that that was most of the movie. I had forgotten like entirely about other things, but you know, I got to rewatch it.
Yeah, it was. I I was trying to get my daughter to watch this with me, and she is very much in her unicorn moment. She's at the age where unicorns are a big part of her life. And I was like, "Come on, sit down, watch this with me. It's a movie. It's a cartoon about a unicorn." And she starts immediately complaining. She's like, "When's the unicorn gonna show up?" I was like, "Kid, we're in the opening credits. You gotta give it a minute." She's like, "No, no unicorn. It said this movie's about a unicorn. I think it's terrible that it's called The Last Unicorn because there's more unicorns. She's not the last one, and it takes too long for the unicorn to show up." And my kid would not watch this movie with me. I think it's maybe 4 minutes of screen time before we see the unicorn. I'm worried that my child has no attention span.
I I didn't show my son this one because I was like, I don't think he's gonna have the attention span for it yet, because he is also kind of in a unicorn phase because all the girls he plays with at preschool are currently in a unicorn phase.
Yeah,
Um,
it's a long phase.
and he's one of like three boys in the entire preschool, so you play what they want to play, which is
Unicorns are cool.
yeah, no, I'm totally fine with it. But he actually graduated preschool this weekend, and they did like the
Oh,
what I want to be when I grow up, and at least three kids said unicorn,
fair.
which fair. I mean, today in
Yeah.
this economy, I would yeah go do that.
Yeah, go be a unicorn. No, if you have the option of being a unicorn, give up your human life, just like in this film. Because she was like, I don't want to be a human. I want to be a unicorn. And she made the right choice. Going back to being a unicorn.
This,
What I knew,
go ahead.
what I knew of this movie or the book was that it was a metaphor um, for female puberty, and I thought it was going to be subtle, and then it wasn't.
No, it's not, the
This
Red
this
Bull.
movie, I was like, wow, there is no subtlety in this movie. It's just like, um, it's just like, wow, this movie is just straight up about menstruation, and it's great. This is one of the great movies I think about uh, women coming of age. I suppose I don't know if that's the right terminology, but I also really appreciated Turning Red, the Pixar movie from a couple of years ago. I was like, oh, this, I don't get it. I never will truly get it, but I appreciate what this movie did. I appreciate it.
Yeah. No, it's not subtle, but you can't be too subtle with children. It is, at the end of the day, a kid's movie, despite it being very dark. One of the reasons being, it was actually animated by the studio that did The Hobbit and The Return of the King,
Oh yeah,
and it was either directed or yeah, it was written by Peter S. Beagle, who wrote the animated Lord of the Rings movie,
yeah.
which
After watching this and I read about that, I tried to find those because those are another couple of movies I haven't seen in like 30 years, and I wanted to go back and revisit, and I couldn't find them online, at
they're on
least
my
not without having
Plex.
to pay for them. Are they on your Plex?
Yeah,
Oh, I'll go find them there then. No, I was just looking on like Amazon.
yeah, no, I've always had a copy of them. I had them on VHS, then DVD. Now I have the digital copy. Like they are must-haves. I would love to do any of them for this because those are very dark and moody.
All right, I want to watch them anyway, so that could be an upcoming episode.
But yeah,
You heard it here first, folks.
if we think The Last Unicorn looks good and X and Y and Z and it's a little dark, it's because the people who made all the Lord of the Rings animateds made them, and with their powers combined, I guess things get dark,
Yeah.
existential. They don't have a lot of existential children's movies.
What'd you think of the spooky parts of this one? I thought the spooky parts of this movie were really well done.
I thought they were really well done. I don't think they were too much for a 5-year-old, but I did watch it without him just in case,
Mhm.
if that makes sense.
No, I think that's I think depends on the level of kind of spooky um resilience that your kid has. Yeah, it depends on like the kid watching it, but I think 5 could be if they're used to spooky stuff. Otherwise, I'd say a little older. I think it makes
Yeah,
sense to this movie skews a little older because I think it's aimed at just prepubescent um girls. They're probably the main audience for this movie, and they're going to be a little bit, they're going to be older than 5. We're talking, probably like the 8 or 9 range. But the spooky stuff, especially with the carnival, I thought the whole sequence was really
yeah,
great. Well animated, great story. I mean, the story of this is great, and again, I think that speaks to the pacing and just like how well plotted it is. But that I think was the standout bit for me with the kind of illusion carnival.
yes. No, that was. I had forgotten entirely about that until I was watching it, and I was like, oh, yeah. Like, this does a. Because you don't really get to the castle till almost halfway through the movie. And
Yeah.
it's like the adventures she has along the way are also part of the not so subtle thing. But no, it's done so well. And the spooky factor there, just the way things are drawn, the way people are drawn, the existential subject matter. We keep watching a lot of movies from like the 70s and 80s where it was like, wow, they used to just give kids existential dread, huh?
Yeah, they really didn't pull back on it at all. I don't know that you could make. if they were to make this today as a cartoon, I don't think they could go as dark as this did. Maybe if you do live action, I feel like you can go this dark. But then I worry that you'd be alienating your main audience because I don't know that
Prepubescent
audience of
girls are going to.
prepubescent girls. Yeah, are they going to want to go see like a dark fantasy epic in live action? Yeah, I wonder if this is. Yeah, so I wonder if this is the kind of thing that could even be remade. Um, is you do it as animated. They're gonna have to go light. Today's audience I think would need something a little lighter, and that could miss the point. Or you make it live action. You go as dark as it needs to, and then you don't get the audience that you want to get to see this movie
I
because
think
they're going to be learning lessons from it. So that's a tough one.
either way, be it live action or animated, I think they should bring Jeff Bridges back to play the king this time.
Oh yeah, totally.
I think he would do
He's so
a
king looking.
yeah, especially like I'm looking at his IMDb picture and I can't see below his chin, but if you told me he was wearing like one of those big red king robes with like the white trim, I'd believe you.
Oh yeah, absolutely. No, his IMDb picture looks very regal, but he could also be a cowboy. I just like Jeff Bridges,
Yeah,
you know.
he is a funny guy. He tells an entire story. I think you can find the clip. It's like on the Graham Norton show, where someone's getting talked about just like getting sucked into playing this video game, and he just like starts. He's like, "Ah, I got sucked into a game once," and like he just turned it into a whole bit, and it was hilarious. And I recommend anyone look it up if they're just looking for a quick little chuckle.
Oh, that's pretty funny. I will look that up later. I love a good Tron story.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, I think it was like one of the younger actors or actresses didn't pick up on like they didn't know him from Tron.
Because I
So
mean, like, how long ago? Tron was it? Like, this movie's like 40 years ago. Who remembers Tron?
yeah,
Anybody he'd be making a movie with now, maybe they'd remember Tron too, but that movie didn't do particularly well.
it had a great soundtrack though.
It's such a good soundtrack. That was my soundtrack at work for a long time.
Yes,
Tron 2
I
soundtrack.
used to do that with paperwork.
Yeah, whenever I had to like just sit and do paperwork, I would listen to the Tron 2 soundtrack and just like especially that intro with Jeff Bridges talking because he has such a good voice.
He has a
So again, like
presence.
he's such a presence in his voice, which works really well here in The Last Unicorn, but on the Tron 2 soundtrack when he comes to the grid and I'm like, "Oh my god, that's so good." Captain Great. I'm going to sit here and do paperwork for 2 hours.
Paperwork intensifies. Like,
Yeah, no, I think it was the real like data management, um, data management soundtrack for everybody who does that kind of work for a good 2 years after that movie came out.
it just lets you get into the groove.
It
Although
really does.
there's a third one coming out, and I'm like, I don't know, guys. You kind of dropped the ball on the second one. Like, I don't know if I want a continuation of that bad story.
I feel like it's been a long time and they're not really going to go back to anything from it. Oh god, it's Jared Leto's in the new Tron.
Uh,
And Gillian Anderson, I don't know. Now I'm torn.
I'm pretty sure it's a direct sequel to two.
Really, with that, who was the lead in two? Who played his son?
Garrett Hedlund.
'Cause he's not in this. Is
Uh,
that going to be Jared Leto now? No, Jared Leto is Ares in the.
I think it's about like you know how there's like that race, Olivia Munn's race of people that they like found.
Right.
It's about like them, and I think they do get out.
Okay. Olivia Munn's not in this either. It doesn't look like she's in it.
Yeah,
Uh,
this one it's a reverse Tron where one of the people from Tron get sent to the real world on a mission.
which was it always eventually had to happen that way.
Yeah. And
And let's watch Tron.
has a good cast. Like Jodie Turner-Smith, Evan Peters, Cameron Monaghan, Jeff Bridges is coming back, but I don't know. Jared Leto's a pretty big deal breaker, and
It's hard to want to see a movie if Jared Leto's in it.
yeah.
And I say that because one time I was at a 30 Seconds to Mars concert and he threw a bottle of water into the crowd and it hit me and I got wet. And like I'm not over it. It's been a long time. Why'd you have to throw that bottle, Jared Leto?
We demand a
Also,
formal apology in the form of a social media post.
make better movies also.
Also, don't
Did
be a
not
scumbag.
don't be weird. Stop throwing bottles at me. I know he only did it once, but I'm still annoyed.
And that is your right, Sam.
Why did I go see 30 Seconds to Mars? I didn't even like that band, but it was free.
I was gonna question why you did that, but, no judgment.
At the time, it seemed fine because I mostly just knew him from like, is he in Fight Club at that point? He had like
Uh,
a small part in
My
Fight Club.
So-Called Life. He was that guy from
Did
My
not watch
So-Called
it.
Life.
Didn't watch My So-Called Life.
I'm just saying,
But
I
it was
think that
2000.
was.
It was the year 2004. I didn't know any better. Just wanted to go to a concert. I got a little wet. Oh, Requiem for a Dream. That movie's. I mean, that's a good movie, but it's fucked
Uh,
up.
he was in, Fight Club at that point, Urban Legend, The Thin Red Line, Prefontaine. He played Prefontaine.
I'd rather watch, perhaps unsurprisingly, The Last Unicorn. Much better movie than anything Jared Leto's putting out.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Now I'm coughing because I'm still getting over COVID. Uh, the Rankin and Bass movie.
Yeah, I gotta go through the list of like Rankin and Bass movies because we keep like
Well, they
revisiting.
did The Hobbit.
Yeah. So I'm like, what else did you guys do that I might want to revisit?
Yeah, I mean, like I mean, their names are attached to so many things. I think it'd be kind of hard to actually figure out what they worked on directly.
Well, if you jump to their IMDb, you can narrow the search down by what you're looking for. Like they also did like they did Frosty and stuff. They did.
Yeah, I mean that's the big one, Frosty, and we watched. Did we watch the Monster Holiday special for this?
For the Rankin and Bass, yeah, it was terrible.
Yeah,
We
that was really. I
hated it.
remember it being really okay. We did watch it for this. It was
It was
very
one of our,
boring.
I think it was for our first Halloween.
Oh, that makes sense. I think we were so excited to watch it, then we watched it. It was such a just a considerable letdown.
Yeah.
Mad Monster Party, that's what it's called.
I think that's the one that I told you. I think it's the only thing I haven't finished that we've ever done.
You had to turn it off.
I turned it off. I like kind of skimmed the end, like clicked through really quickly so I would have context for the talk, but yeah.
No, you made the right choice. It was not worth watching. Really disappointing.
I think about it sometimes. Anytime I think of like any of the Christmas movies, I'm like, and then that one terrible one. Smokey the Bear Show. Remember when like that type of stuff existed?
Just like I was looking through one of their IMDb's and I saw that they did a Coneheads TV movie in 1983.
I saw that too.
Why? Why do that?
I don't know.
Oh, it's a cartoon. Oh, it looks really bad. What a
Yeah.
weird thing that exists. What a weird SNL spinoff to exist. Must have
Right?
been one of the first SNL spinoffs.
I've never understood what they choose to spin off of SNL.
Um, Coneheads was a weird choice. that they did the movie in the 90s a good 20 years after it was popular. It's Pat, also bad. Never watched that one.
Yeah, I definitely watched It's Pat growing up. Uh, Films. Blues Brothers might have been their first one.
That was the best one.
Yeah, then they had Wayne's World, which Wayne's World was good. It's Pat. I don't know why it happened. They gave Stewart a movie.
Oh yeah, that was weird. And that's weird that that man went on to be a senator.
Night at the Roxbury. Don't understand how that won. Don't understand how Superstar got pushed.
I forgot that existed.
And then there's just the Ladies' Man and MacGruber.
Yeah, they kind of gave up after MacGruber kind of flopped.
I
It's been
mean,
a while since there's been an SNL movie. You'd think they would. I don't think they have any sketches that have gotten like stuck around and been big enough, long enough to warrant a movie in a
yeah.
very long time.
And I don't think Lorne Michaels really wants to do that much extra work. Like,
No, he should retire.
they've had well more misses than hits. So, we're way off topic.
Last Unicorn.
Yeah, I mean, satisfying ending. I have really no complaints about it except for that song.
I think that's fair, but I will say I like the song. I think if you like cheesy 1980s movie pop, it's good. It's gonna go on my mix. I'm gonna listen to it when I'm driving to work tomorrow. You know what I was listening to on my drive in and out of work today was a lot of the Ninja Turtles theme,
Oh, yeah,
various
the
versions of
original
it.
one?
Now the one from the new video game Shredder's Revenge,
Oh,
not that
okay.
new, but they basically just recreate the original theme, so it's pretty much the original one.
Cool. I think I just
Yeah.
got Shredder's Revenge.
Oh my god, it's so good.
Yeah, I've heard
A
they've
dog,
actually. Hmm?
a dog ate my Switch 2 controller.
You got a Switch 2,
It did.
and it's already lost a controller.
Yeah, I'm really mad at my dog right now. Because I can get another one. It's just the one that like you put the Joy-Cons in, so I can get another one for like $20. But I'm like, man, I just bought this freaking dog. But I guess it was my fault for leaving the room for 20 minutes.
Yeah, my cat has turned into a weird goblin and keeps just trying to eat like plastic trash bags. I don't know why. I hate it. Pets are awful.
It's so
Like,
dangerous.
I love them, but I'm like, I can't
Uh,
watch you 24/7. You're a nocturnal creature. Don't eat plastic.
I when I go on vacation this summer, I'm gonna miss like our dog is gonna go stay with a sitter, and I'm gonna miss my dog so much. But at the same time, I'm gonna really enjoy not having to make sure my dog doesn't destroy things.
Yeah, that's someone else's problem.
Yeah, sorry, Steve, not you. My other friend Steve,
Different
who is a
Steve.
professional, different Steve who watches dogs. And then the worst part is when we like get her, she doesn't want to come back because she has such a better time at Steve's. Because he has several dogs, so she's just like living it up in living her best dog life. And I'm like, I missed you so much, and she's like, oh, can I go back to his house? And I'm like, man, I saved you from the garbage. The
Ingrates.
last unicorn.
I think it's time to wrap it up. My
I liked it.
entire beverage has kicked in, um, and with it the cotton mouth. So I'm gonna start making gross mouth noises soon if we don't wrap it up.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Well,
unicorn.
I'll tell everybody where they can find us, which is on Instagram at this point. Facebook? I don't know. I'll keep checking the Facebook. If you message us on Facebook at RT Spirits Pod, I'll get a notification on my phone and I'll go check it. So you still catch us over there, and you let us know what you thought of the last unicorn, or you can let us know the things you think we should watch. We'd love to hear from you.
What things have we talked about that we said we should do an episode for and then completely forgotten about that you would like us to, follow up on?
Oh man, we're gonna have to go back and re-listen to all of our episodes. We're up to like almost 70 episodes.
That's
That's
like
like a real
3 days
time
of your
commitment.
life.
Just go back and re-listen to us to figure out all the things we said we were going to talk about, do an episode on. I have not. I feel like the live action Super Mario Brothers movie is one we've said we're
Yes.
going to do. We haven't. I
I
want to do that.
I can't find it anywhere.
It is difficult to find, and then it feels very silly doing an episode where like we watched this thing that it took us 6 days to find a copy of, so you can't watch it.
Well, maybe we'll
I
have a
feel like
warning for them to not.
whatever you do, don't pirate this as much as you want to. Don't do it. Um, and eventually. Oh, Dip. Oh my God, it's Tuesday. It's late.
All right, everyone. Thank you for joining us. As always, I'm Steve,
I'm Sam.
and thanks for joining us.
Last unicorn.